Welcome to Spins, DJ Fuzzy Logic here. With me is Mike Knipple, aka Killa Kutz.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going quite well now.
I started off when I was about 13, and I'm 41 now. I didn't have a mixer when I first started out, so I just ripped apart records on a turntable, and I modified a turntable that I had on top of a stereo component system. I didn't even have a crossfader on my first mixer. I had a realistic all-line fader mixer with no EQs, no nothing. It was
just
up and down. That was it. That was it. Basically, you would start the record at the beginning, and if it had like an 8-bar, intro, and you want to extend that, you would, let it go for 8 bars, hit pause on the tape deck, and then you bring the record back. I had the Miami Vice theme. I extended that thing. I extended the Son of Beach Street. I got my 2 Live Is What We Are tape. Someone ratted me out at my school, and I got it taken away in 6th grade it was. And my mom had to come back to the school and get it back to me. Honestly, that's what it was.
Well, shout out to Mrs. K for keeping it real.
I went to shows for 8th grade, and I was probably one, or maybe me and maybe 2-3 other guys wearing Public Enemy t-shirts, Beastie Boy t-shirts, Run DMC, and even DJing, it was unheard of at that time. It's a British group. I didn't even know who they were until 3 Times Dope sampled Funky Dividends from them, and then because of that drew me into this group, The Delegation, which is, they have unbelievable songs. They're really, really good.
Yeah, this is always on my MP3 list whenever I always walk to school in the winter, and I need my warm jams to make me feel like, all right, well, I'm freezing on the outside, but in my heart, oh honey.
This is Rocket, Herbie Hancock. Big influential record, Grand Mixer DST, ripping it up on her. I never heard anything like this before. I wanted to do this. I wanted to make noise on a turntable like he was, and it was just unbelievable for me to see him perform and do this on, I believe it was on the Billboard Awards that he did it, and it was just, I was in awe. I destroyed a lot of records. A lot of them. And a lot of them, unfortunately, were my sister's records. Because I was always looking for stuff with vocals that had like a higher pitched sound. Like she had all these silly like Bear Bear records and these Story Time records. And yeah, I just ripped them apart without a slip mat under them. Huge fan of this. Another West Coast electro record. Where I used to go skating, they used to rock this a lot. It has like different sounds to it, very futuristic sounding again. When I was a kid and I heard this, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is that? I gotta have that. And this was a hard record to find. It wasn't like you just went anywhere and found. I got this at Radio Doctors, and I was really lucky. I only had 1 copy at the time. I heard it the first time, I think it was on 91.7, or it could have been 860 WNOV. Because they used to, once upon a time, used to really rock out. They would play a lot of LA Dream Team on 860 and Egyptian Lover and stuff like that. Back then, you only had 2 stations. You had 91.7 for 12 and 3, Monday through Friday, and then you had the Boogie Bang, which is still on the air with Barry and Craig McNeil, which is probably one of my favorite shows on Saturday. Still listen to Boogie Bang. The afternoon mixes from when they're on 12 to 3, Monday through Friday with Too Tough Tony and Smoky Pacheech and Jackmaster D and Doc B and all those guys. Big influences on me. So, yeah, there was a lot of record stores back then. You had, like you said, Radio Doctors on the block. Inside the Grand, you had Music Land. You had Tape World. They didn't sell wax, but they had tapes and then eventually CDs. And then you had Schroeder's down the block. They had a really, really dope disco, a lot of disco and funk records once upon a time. you know, we had the scratch pad, we had Revolutions, you know, it was nice because local DJs would go there, you'd see each other, talk, you know, figure out what's going on, what's, you know, any gigs coming up, you know, there was a community. You go into a record store, you see Doc B, you see JDL, you know, you see, you know, Todd, you know, DMT, you know, you would run into guys, you know, you could talk to them, and all the DJs at once upon a time really did know each other. Back then I did a lot of like battle stuff, spinning behind my back, scratching behind my back, taking the shoe off, scratching with the shoe, you know, silly stuff like that.
Anybody rock the shoe?
Yeah, I've done that. House of the Joint by Schoolie D, a Philly pioneer, first gangster rapper. Unbelievable. The production on this record is so raw and real, and just sounds like someone just took a tape recorder and just recorded them in a booth. It's really a raw sounding record. DJ Cold Money, super dope DJ, really ill. His techniques in scratching were just, when I heard this when I was a kid, and it's just like, wow. You know, you got those cowbells in the back, and you know,
it's just so hard.
It's a hard record. It is a soup. That whole album, Saturday Night the Album, classic. My top 5 all-time favorite records. And anyone that knows me knows I drop this record often. New music is crap. And you can keep that, and don't edit that out because it is. It's down-tempo, it's so, nothing positive about it, there's no message, except for partying, getting messed up, you know, doing lots of drugs. There's just no soul, there's nothing to it. It just sounds so flat and fake. You know, Kendrick is pretty dope. Immortal Technique, obviously, is super dope. Ill Bill is pretty dope. The whole Coca Nostra, they're pretty dope. Action Bronson is dope. Killer Mike, you know, the whole Run the Jewels, that's pretty ill. Yeah. NWA Panic Zone, West Coast Electro, once again. Everyone thinks NWA just came out playing, you know, gangster rap, which they were. This is off 12-inch, and that had Dope Man on it, and 8-Ball, and this. And this is when Arabian Prince was still with NWA, and you know, Arabian Prince and Yella were doing the whole thing with World Class Wrecking Crew, and Dre as well. And so they came out with this record, which is
Uniforms, Jerry Curls.
Yes, yep. Well, yeah, that was how it was back then, you know. Look at Ice-T and Breakin'. He had like this vest on with no shirt and some like bands on. You know,
it's
but
my look.
Yeah,
it's my look.
my youngest daughter Jenna, she DJs, and she spins a mean funk set, and the girl spins The Time, Prince, Joey Watley. Obviously, my wife DJs with me, and she gets her own gigs.
Yeah, we had a great time down at the Up.
Yes, she threw down. You know, she really did. It's such a deep track. I've heard guys mix this with different things, and you know, I've heard guys mix this Miami bass stuff. It's one of those records that I like to chill out to, listen. Got a soulful groove to it. It's very soulful. It's just such a dope track. I mean, just everything about it. I can listen to this song for hours, actually. You know, you should be inspired by other DJs. You know, you shouldn't have like, well, you know, I'm better than this guy, or whatever the case may be. I think every DJ should inspire another DJ. So
how are you gonna grow like that?
You can't grow. I'd spend the last dollar in my pocket on a record. My wife can attest to that.